will present over here. May I have your attention? I am Shilpa Kashyap, today's moderator. The webinar is about to begin. Thank you, dear educator, for joining us. First of all, I would like to thank you, education and learning team, Vimal sir, Shalini ma'am, Pinky ma'am, and Abhimanyu sir for organizing this webinar. And I welcome you all to this webinar. Today's webinar is about foundational literacy and numeracy. As you all know, at the end of the presentation, question answer session will be there. You can raise your hand or drop your message in the chat box. Without any further ado, I would like to introduce today's presenter, Dr. Gyanti Singh, PhD, PGT, Chemistry, Principal of Sanskriti Public School, Gorakhpur. She has 10 years experience as a principal, 20 years experience as PGT Chemistry, and 23 years experience as educator. She won Siksha Padam Samman 2022 by All India Principal Association, Inspiring Education Award by EGN India, also honored by IUEF School Excellence Award ISEA 2023. Now over to Gyanti ma'am.
Welcome, ma'am.
Welcome, ma'am.
Welcome, ma'am. Welcome.
Good evening, everyone. Hope you all are doing great.
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
So today we are going to discuss about foundational literacy and numeracy. And under NEP 20, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, please.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Please, please.
Yes.
All right. So as we know that NEP 2020 is going to be implemented under that foundational level. If I ask a question to everybody, can you please tell me that which group of the student contribute the most in the economical development of the country, whether it is pre-primary or the secondary, higher secondary level?
Madam,
Pre-primary.
from
Pre-primary.
Pre-primary level, because that is the area or the education section where we ignore the most. If we are giving the proper foundation, I think the child can do magical in the future or the career. So accordingly, the NEP 2020 has launched this F.L.N as a national mission. And under this national mission, they have launched one program that was known as Nipun Bharat. Nipun Bharat is a national initiative for the proficiency in reading with understanding and the literacy. As the acronyms itself define what is Nipun mission was, it is only related to the foundational literacy and numeracy. And what was the objective for this? The objective was like the child, when they reach to the grade 3, at the level grade 3, child should be able to read with comprehension. Children are, if I see as a principal I'm talking, and you people are educated, you must be observing that. If I ask, is our class 100% able to read, or every child is able to read or not? No, I don't believe. 65 to 70% children are able to read, but out of that 70%, 50% are able to read with comprehension. Rest all are able to read, but they are not able to comprehend what they are reading. The text they are not able to comprehend. So it was taken as a national mission, and it was objective of this NEP and Nipun Bharat that the child should be able to read with comprehension up to the grade 3 as they are reaching or completing. And this mission is taken up to the year 26-27. It should be achieved by the education sector. And based on that, the F.L.N foundational literacy and numeracy was taken as a national mission. national middle foundation level, if I talk about, NEP has divided our education into four sectors: 5 plus 3 plus 2, 5 plus 3 plus 3, and 4. The first level 5 means it was a group 5 years of a child, nursery, LKG, UKG, grade 1, grade 2. These classes are known as a foundational level. And see that every year we are teaching, like nursery, we are teaching the alphabet and the number as a subject, English and maths. When the child comes to the LKG, we go for the capital to the small alphabet, and then it comes to the UKG, we are starting the cursive handwriting. Then it comes to the class 1, but the teaching goes on, only the blackboard teaching is going on. Like if I teach the letter A, it was written on the board and it was taught. We don't show the object to the child, and we don't teach that. And like it goes A for apple, that alphabet is going on, but the sound A, the sound of A, what it produce, A for apple doesn't go, it go a apple. So everywhere we have to teach the sound to the child, so that literacy should be proper. If they are learning the sound of the alphabet, then the literacy will develop properly, and they'll be able to pronounce the word. Pronunciation will be clear. So this foundational literacy, we can discuss the key point or key component of the foundational literacy. In that, first, they have focused on the decoding of the alphabet or aksharas. Like if you write some letter, you scribble on the board with the chalk. Will the child be able to identify or not? We should be, if we are writing letter A, child should be able to decode that scribbling on the board what we are writing. If we are writing in Hindi, अक्षर like a, तो वो बच्चा अ समझ तो पाए कि हमने अ लिखा है. तो वो decoding of the letter is important. Alphabet or the aksharas in Hindi, whatever is there, the child should be able to decode first. That we have to be very sure that every child in the class must be able to decode the letters and the alphabets. And after that, as they are able to decode the letter, they'll be able to read. Reading with comprehension is important. Like if we generally in the classroom, what happens? CAT, cat. Yes, we are teaching the spelling and pronouncing the word. But if we teach cat, along with the cat, if you show the image of the cat, will the child will not be very clear with the meaning or the comprehension of the pronunciation or the letter or the word we are teaching. So whatever we are teaching, if we are making the child to visualize the object, after visualizing the object, that impression will be always in the mind. Because as a science person, we know that how many sense organ of our body is involved in the learning process, that learning becomes more deeper and the long lasting. So if child see, listen and speak, so most of the sense organs are involved in that learning process, and the learning becomes more effective in the child. And after that, as the child is able to visualize, listen and speak, the memory power develop. And as repeatedly we are giving that practice, the child will memorize that word, meaning, and it will be, a child will be able to comprehend that reading whatever they are reading. After that, when the child is able to read and decode the letters and alphabets, then comes like they should be able to speak with coherent thought. The speaking, like sometimes they are speaking, but we are not able to connect with the child what they want to speak. So the reading with coherent thought means the logical explanation or the thoughts, the mindset of the child should be developed in that way that whatever they are able to speak, it should be logical. They should be able to explain with the logic. So coherent thought is required, and they should speak with the logical thinking and the explanation. Then comes like reading fluency. If I say like one child is reading, rose is my favorite flower, and another child reads LOTUS, lotus, IS is A, NATIONAL, national, FLOWER, flower. So there's another child who is reading like this, that comprehension of that reading will not be very clear. As I am reading, maybe many of you would not have would not understood what is a sentence because it was not fluent, and it is with the obstacle. So when the child is able to decode, the child is able to memorize and read with comprehension. Now comes like speed of speaking. It should not be very fast. It should be the moderate speed, so that the listener should be able to listen and understand what you are speaking. And like intonation should be taught to them, where they have to decrease their pitch and pitch should be high, where they have to stress on which letters they have to stress while speaking that. So these all things should be taught to them so that the fluency of the reading will be proper. And after that, the oral language should be developed. As they are going these all processes, they are able to read, they are able to understand what they are reading, they are learning the fluency, how to speak with the moderate speed and the pronunciation. Then they'll be able to express their thought. They should, oral language is required, because what I'm thinking, if I'm not able to express, means I have little problem in the oral language. I'm able to write, I'm able to read, but if I'm not able to communicate my thoughts, means the oral language is not developed properly. That happens with the children in the primary wing or the foundational level. Then comes like sound knowledge. We are teaching the children, but the every alphabet, what sound is produced by the alphabet should be taught. Like just now we discussed, if we taught, if we are teaching the letter, then the sound what letter produce should be taught. Like if we go C for cat, so C, what is the sound of C? We are saying the letter C and pronunciation starts with cat, ka. So it should be like C, ka, cat. What the sound produced by letter C should be taught to the child. So the sound knowledge should be given to the child. When we go for the letter in Hindi, Varnmala जब हम पढ़ा रहे हैं, तो we can check out that swar and vyanjan comes like swar की मात्राएं होती हैं. When we speak that letters, the proper amount of sound comes from the mouth. Accordingly, your letter changes. So we should teach the sound of the alphabet, whether it is in Hindi or English. Then only the literacy of the child will be proper. Child will be able to read. Child will be able to communicate. Child will have that proper fluent reading. And then the drawing concept is needed. If you give one pencil or chalk to the child to draw something, if you don't ask also, child will draw something which we may not identify what they are drawing. But if you ask to the child, what is this? They'll name it something according to their perception. That means they are communicating language by drawing also. So one drawing is again one language. They are drawing some symbols, and through that they wanted to express their thoughts. So concept of drawing also can be used to develop the literacy skill in the child. So if we are going through all these processes, child will develop the proper literacy skill. And reading and language, so when we ask a child to read in the class, the child is in that impression, if I'm not reading properly, maybe the ma'am will scold me, or my benchmate classmate can make fun on me. So that fear should be eradicated from the classroom, that when he is reading or she is reading, it should be the joyful reading. If it is joyful, like if we enjoy the work or anything what we are doing, then the mistakes fear is over. Like we can commit a mistake, it's okay. When if I'll commit the mistake, somebody is there to guide me and rectify. So child should read the content with the joy. And if this happens, then the reading is comprehensive. They'll be able to understand the text what they are reading, and as they are able to understand the text in the same way. So as the communication is there, they are able to understand. Frankly speaking, it's not up to foundational level. If I talk about, sometime it happens in the class 6 or 7 also it happens. Class 6 7 student are also not able to read. So these all things are there. If they are not able to read step by step, the class content becomes more difficult to the child, and that it is very difficult to cope up for a child at the level of 7 or the junior level, like 6 to 8 classes. Then only we can develop the conceptual subject wise in the child. So what was the need of FLN? If I talk about need of FLN, why do we need to introduce foundational literacy numeracy? It is like when we go to the class 1, you have the child comes to the class 2, again noun is there with the type. In the class 3rd, noun is repeated. The topic which is repeated every grade, like class 1 to the class 5, that topic is also not very clear to the child. Reason is we are teaching in one term examination. The second term syllabus is different. That taught portion which was there in the term 1 is eliminated, and the extra rest chapters are included. So we are keep on teaching. We are changing the portion for the next examination. So what is happening whole year? Child is learning, forgetting, again learning, expressing in the examination, and again forgetting. So these things are happening, which is like learning and forgetting process is there, and you know that until unless repetition is there in any process, that learning will not be proper, because practice is needed. What we have taught in the beginning of the year, that should continue till end of the year, then it will be in the impression of the mind. The child will have that impression that this topic I have studied. Otherwise, what is happening with us, like in the term 1 what we have given, term 2 it is not there. So it is not in the process of revision and all, the child is forgetting, and next year again same process is going on. So they are learning and forgetting, and because of that, the learning level, what you think it will be high? No, they are learning, they are forgetting. Again, they are learning, they are forgetting. But we are there is a need of repetition of the topic. If we continue, if the content is limited, because we have selected such a books which has huge or the rich content. According to our knowledge, we think it is rich content, but go to the child level and think of, for us it is rich, but child needs less content so that we can give them more and more practice. Every principle is back of the teacher, like you have to complete the syllabus. The rushing with the syllabus is going on, completion of syllabus is also happening, but the child is not able to perform by end of the year. They are learning and forgetting. Very few, the gifted child, those who are very brilliant, they are able to cope up with that. But other, those who are mediocre or the slow learner, their learning level is decreasing. The low learning level is there because of this, because in the primary level or the foundational level, literacy is and numeracy is not strong. So the level of learning is decreasing. It's low level learning. Because of that, at a certain stage of the education, child feel to drop, like it happens in the 10th class. Before 10th board examination, it's a board examination, and if we performed very poor in the pre-board and all, the child has fear of the examination, and he or she fails or he or she drop the examination only. So in that case, not only in class 10, the different level, the dropout rate increases because of low learning level. And low learning level dropout, with that, what happened? Inappropriate language in the mathematical skill is there. If the foundational knowledge is not there, the learning level is very low, and the dropout rate is very high. So as dropout rate is very high, because foundation we have not laid properly. So inappropriate language is there. Inappropriate language means child is not having decoding, child is not able to decode the letters, child is not able to read with fluency, the child is not able to pronounce the letters or the whatever sound comes with the letter, means phonics or the sound knowledge is not there. So these all things gives the improper language. And the mathematical skill, what is there? We generally write on the board 1, 2, 3, 4, and we drill the child. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3. So this way, if we are teaching the child, it's only the mechanical teaching is going on. And after a certain time period, they forget. So we need to change little our pattern of teaching. It has to be experiential way, or the playway learning should be there. Playway learning in the sense, if the child is doing in the fun way, they are playing and then they are learning, they'll remember that. If we want to teach them number system, we can organize one game, and on that, jumping by one number to another, if you ask him or her to play and then read the numbers, they will do that. They'll enjoy that game and they'll remember the numbers also. So that as the low learning is there, dropout rate is high, and inappropriate language and the mathematical skill is there. That that has created a need of FLN. So foundational level, that is why it was taken as a national mission, where we need to focus that every child up to grade 3 should be or must be able to read with comprehension, and that mission should be accomplished by the end of the year 26-27, 2026-27. And let's see, it should be, if we are following, I wish this thing we started already, I started in my school, so that the foundation will be strong, and the further classes, as they are upgraded to the next level, they should be able to do that. If I talk about the foundational numeracy, what is foundational numeracy? As I said, a child is already having the pre-existing knowledge. Like the nursery child, it comes to the class. Do you believe that child will not be able to count anything? If you give them the toy, they are able to count their toys. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. So nobody has taught them the numbers at home also. But they have learned looking at the elders and the other things. They have seen the people counting and they have learned. That is pre-existing knowledge they are having. So when they come to the class, we write 1, 2, 3, 4 on the board and we ask them to drill. As you are saying, this is 1. So they read 1, then 2, 3. But rather than that, if we give them the object and ask them count it, will they be not able to do that? They'll be. But and when they are doing this way, I think they'll understand better way. So you should first use their pre-existing knowledge, and starting with the numbers, before that go for the pre-number concept is also there. If you see the playway pre-primary books, I mean nursery, LKG, UKG, you'll see before number some different concepts are there. Not only
Hello,
in that.
excuse you,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Ma'am,
Yes,
can you
ma'am.
use multi-language explaining in Hindi and English both, please?
All right, ma'am. ठीक है.
Yeah,
Okay,
thank
thank
you
you.
so much, ma'am.
तो जब हम द चाइल्ड, जब बच्चा क्लास में आता है तो हम करते क्या है? हमने बोर्ड पे 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 लिखा, एंड चाइल्ड से टीचर ड्रिल, दिस इज 1, 2, 3, and same way child drill 1, 2, 3, 4. बट उससे ज्यादा बेटर नहीं होगा इफ वी गिव देम सम ऑब्जेक्ट्स एंड आस्क देम टू काउंट. वो खुद काउंट करेंगे. जब वो खुद काउंट करेंगे तो आई थिंक दे अंडरस्टैंड बेटर वे. क्योंकि आप खुद सोचिए, अगर मैं आपको बोलूं कि आपको ये काम करना है एंड यू हैव टू मेक, और भी टीच एनी रेसिपी टू यू कि मैम ये डाल के ये बनाना है, until you do yourself you'll not understand that how to do it. The same thing is implemented on the child कि जब आप उसे खुद काउंट करना सिखाएंगे, आप उन्हें ऑब्जेक्ट दीजिए rather than drilling in the class on board. Give them object and count, so that they'll develop the concept. One है क्या, then what is to do है क्या. तो वो जब खुद काउंट कर टू अगर रहे हैं तो वो टू इज रिटन ऑन द बोर्ड. We should give them two object, two pencil, this is two books, two toffees, two colors, two, so many objects. If we are giving them, they are counting many objects. बहुत ज्यादा objects सामने होंगे and they'll count 1 2 1 2 1 2, so that two will impression will be very strong in the mind because they have done many times, they have practiced. And same thing when they'll go home, no, whatever object they'll see, they'll count 1 2, then 1 2, then two impression will be very clear in the mind of how many objects will be two. And then if you go to the concept is what, like if you see the book, अगर आप book देखेंगे तो you'll see short and tall concept we teach. And that short tall also we teach generally by drawing something on the board. So rather than drawing something on the board, if you call to child only or you compare yourself with the child, अगर आप खुद से child को compare करेंगे तो certainly we are taller than the children. So the tall and short concept can be taught. Light and heavy we teach. तो आप कोई भी दो ऑब्जेक्ट जो लाइट और हैवी है उसे होल्ड करवा के उसे एक्सपीरियंस करा सकते हैं. व्हाई वी कॉल इट इज लाइट एंड व्हाई इट इज हैवी. So these are, first we teach the pre-number concept and then we go to the number. And number also, when we go, the counting should be taught to them with the object, not only on the board. And after they have the basic counting experience and the numberness knowledge, then number operations are also there. Number operation comes like addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. That is in the class 1. Addition we start in UKG also. So like if you teach 3 plus 4 7, ठीक है. अब अगर हमने ये पढ़ाया 3 plus 4 is 7, 5 plus 2 भी तो 7 होता है. Six plus one is 7 होता है. But अगर teacher 3 plus, and if mother, this should be explained like 6 plus 1 is 7, 4 plus 3. If we give that examples to them, like the dice are there which we use in the Ludo and different games, with that combination also we can show. By drawing the line also we can show. Even 10 minus 3 is also 7. So like this, if we are explaining it from all the areas, all the ways, the child will be more better in the child. And after that, numbers 10 in the UKG or the LKG, 50, 60 numbers or 100 plus numbers we are teaching. So as we go to that addition, subtraction, after completing the counting of numbers, in the addition, we should teach them on the basis of 10. आपको याद होगा हमने भी one place, tens place, thousand place. If we are going for the at place value is level, or thousand place also addition, we go up to 3-digit addition should be taught in the class grade 2. So we should teach that place value also, 10 ones and ones, tens and 100 place, so that they'll have better knowledge and they'll be able to add ones place, tens place, because the addition rule is also there. Ones has to be added with ones, 10 has to be added with 10. So these all should be taught to them on the basis of place value so that they'll have the better knowledge. And space and spatial shape and spatial understanding is also required. Shape, generally, what do? Either we take a piece of paper, या तो हम एक piece of paper ले लेते हैं, या हम board पे draw करते हैं. If I have to teach square or rectangle, teacher ने chalk उठाई, उन्होंने square draw कर दिया, rectangle draw कर दिया. और they says that all the sides are equal and opposite sides are equal. Rather than that, if we ask child to take out your notebook, and every notebook is rectangle in shape, they can measure the sides are opposite sides are equal, they'll understand better way. And ask them to find out more
I think network issue is going on.
Right, sir.
one by
After
one you can give, they'll
Yeah,
give
excuse
like
me, ma'am.
amazing reply from the child.
Gyanti ma'am?
Yeah.
So we were discussing about shape and spatial understanding. So like child should, as the number system, उन्हें numbers हमने पढ़ा दिए, उनको number system पढ़ा दिया, multiplication and all. After that it comes like shape. So shape we were discussing, अगर हम उन्हें object दिखाकर वो shape समझाएंगे तो ज़्यादा better आएगा, समझ आता है. Rectangle, circle we draw on the board and show. Many of the students wear the bangle. If you ask them to remove the bangle, you show. Even teachers are wearing the bangle, we can show. The lid of their lunch box is circle. So if we teach them the shape even with the objects, तो उन्हें वो ऑब्जेक्ट ज्यादा बेटर, वो शेप ज्यादा बेटर समझ आता है. एंड वी कैन क्रिएट सम एक्टिविटी लाइक एक ऐसा फिगर बना दे जिसमें बहुत सारे डिफरेंट शेप्स हों, and ask child to color like rectangle with the yellow color, square with the pink color, circle with some other color. So वो shape identify करके color करेंगे तो they'll develop the color knowledge as well as the shape knowledge. दोनों उनमें develop होती है, तो shape and spatial arrangement सारी चीजें उन्हें बहुत clear समझ आती हैं related to the mathematics. Then the vocabulary, mathematical vocabulary also should be there. The mathematical vocabulary, what is there? Like we use the signs equal to, greater than, less than. These all symbols also we teach them. तो लेस देन ग्रेटर देन हम नंबर्स लिख देते हैं और बता देते हैं सिंबल ऐसे आएगा और ये स्मॉलर है ये ग्रेटर है. तो इफ वी शो देम ऑब्जेक्ट, अगेन अगर आप एक ग्रुप किसी भी 3 ऑब्जेक्ट को 3 ऑब्जेक्ट एक साथ रखिए, देन 5 ऑब्जेक्ट एक साथ रखिए, देन इफ यू आस्क देम टू काउंट एंड आस्क व्हिच इज ग्रेटर एंड व्हिच इज स्मॉलर नंबर, so with that concept they'll be able to understand the less than and the greater than concept. or if both side you are giving, अगर आप दोनों ऑब्जेक्ट इक्वल नंबर में दे रहे हैं तो उन्हें वो भी समझ आता है कि दे आर इक्वल. सो rather than teaching only on the board, सिर्फ बोर्ड पे पढ़ाने की जगह अगर हम उन्हें वो एक्सपेरिमेंट करवा के दें, वो एक्सपीरियंशियल लर्निंग दे, ऑब्जेक्ट दिल काउंट दिल कंपेयर, तो वो मेरे ख्याल से ज्यादा बेटर समझ पाएंगे कि वो इक्वल टू, लेस देन एंड ग्रेटर देन कॉन्सेप्ट है क्या. Then the measurement comes. Measurement is addition, subtraction, multiplication up to 3 digits. Foundation level means up to grade 2. We teach them 3 to 4. Generally, it should be taught up to 3 digit. 3 digit addition, subtraction, we should teach them. So when they have the number sense clear, they are able to understand this addition, this number system also, operation of the mathematics. Then they'll be able to measure the numbers, addition, subtraction. That measurement also will be very clear. They'll be
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you so much to all of you. That's all for today. Dear educators, we appreciate you being here. And I would like to acknowledge again the presence of Dr. Gyanti ma'am, and also like to thanks everyone who made this webinar series possible. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day ahead.